Hello there, and welcome back to Writing from Scratch with me, Tom. On today's video, I want to read to you the first chapter of my book. I hope you enjoy. 1. Pat. Have you ever held a dead body? I have. I remember my husband calling my name from our room. There was something in his voice that made me drop the washing all over the stairs. That bloody washing. He was standing by the window in his trousers. I had told him to rest, but he didn't listen. He never did. Stubborn fool. We hugged, and I couldn't see his face, but I knew when he died. He said my name softly before he did. He said he would see me again. There's a weight to a dead person. It's unmistakable, and I felt it in my own small arms. Don't hurt your head, I told him as he almost fell against the window. Can the dead feel pain? Probably not. It was silly, really, but I still cared about that beautiful, stupid head. I got him onto the bed. His legs were so heavy. Maria was at work, so I called my son-in-law and told him that Pat was gone. My Pat. Then I cried. Mum. Mum died 5 months after Pat. I think she died because he did. She had always loved him. They even ganged up on me sometimes, the cheek. It had always been me and Mum. Just us, 2 peas in a pod for so many years. Hers wasn't a heart attack, though. She was just old. Very old. She left me in her sleep as we waited for Anne to visit. That's how I want to go. She just closed her eyes, told me that she wanted a nap. Maybe she knew it was time? She had tried to send me away, but I had told her I wanted to sit with her and finish my book. I remember feeling her passing away. I don't know when it happened, but when I looked at her, I knew she was gone. You just know these things, don't you? Funny how they all go at once, though, isn't it? I told my son-in-law and he didn't believe me this time, until after he checked himself, that was. I'm glad she went peacefully. I didn't cry that time. Presents. I don't remember much about what happened after Mum died. I forget lots of things anyway, but that one was strange. Don told me he enjoyed his birthday party. I told him I was sorry that I didn't come. He laughed and told me that I did go. He even remembered the present that I gave him, but I don't even remember being there. The present was a good choice, though, if I do say so myself. I've always been good at choosing presents. My grandson says I'm difficult to buy for, though. I like bees. Anything with bees is always welcome. That time in my life was very strange. That bloody washing. Time. I've lived over 80 years now, and have done so happily. Well, in the first years all I remember were the bombs and the fires. I remember my uncle crying as the town watched a pilot burn in his plane. He's just a boy, he said, and I didn't understand at the time. I think I do now. But the rest of my life has been happy. I was a daughter, a mother, a grandmother, and now, unbelievably, a great-grandmother to a pair of beautiful little angels. I hope their childhood isn't filled with bombs and fires like mine. 82 years. Has it really been that long? It feels like 20. My bones hurt sometimes. My legs don't rush around like before. My hands aren't as steady. I forget things too, but I've always forgotten things. In my heart, I still feel young. Lots of people say that. Like I did when Pat twirled me round on our wedding day all that time ago. My Pat. I wonder how much time I have left. Don't suppose it does any good, thinking about it really. If I could see the hourglass trickling down, would I watch the grains pass by, or would I just look away and wait? I'm not really sure. There can't be many grains left. Perhaps I could put some more in. Would that be cheating? Death. At my age, death isn't sudden. It's like a bomb falling from a plane now. You can see it, hear the whoosh as it descends. You can't avoid it. Just either kneel down and pray, or stare up and watch it approach. I think I'm watching it approach. Unfortunately, I see death at church now too. So many of the dear ladies and gentlemen sit hunched in their pews, resigned. They bicker about whether the organ is appropriate for hymns or whether, God forbid, we use a guitar instead. We have 2 services now, but I think we'll only have 1 soon. There aren't many young people to replace us, so one service will have to do, and they'll have to deal with an organ, or the guitar, or the drums, or the violin. I don't understand why they care so much. They are dead already, the bomb just hasn't struck yet. That's not me. I don't want to be another soul drifting slowly into the gaping maw of death. My legs still work, and I remember most things about the world. I forget sometimes. I need to get away from all this death. I love life too much. Maybe one last adventure. The painting. Mum gave it to me before she died. She'd had it as long as I can remember, though. It's a simple painting that sits above my settee in the living room. A simple green hill with a simple green tree and a simple red sunset. The frame I made myself from bits of wood. It's not very pretty, but it doesn't need to be. Just needs to hold the painting on the wall for me to look at. It does that very well. It's a very good frame. I don't know who painted the painting, but I would like to thank them one day. There's a girl in the picture too. She's sitting under a tree with a book and watching the sun go down. What book is she reading, I wonder? When I was a girl, Mum made me read the classics like Bronte and Dickens. I don't think many people read those anymore. I've always imagined that girl was me. You do, don't you? People like to imagine themselves in paintings or pictures. Everyone wants to be the hero in the story, and I just wanted to be a girl under a tree. I should find out where that hill is and visit. I would like that. Grandson. I'm no good with technology. I can send an email, but it takes a million years, and phones do so much these days. I feel like I'm lost in a world of gadgets and gizmos. People should talk to each other more. My grandson came to visit today, though. He often helps me with things on my phone or the telly. He's a good boy, and I tell that to all the other ladies at church. He says that he can find where my painting is from using the internet. When he tries to show me, I try to make notes, and he's very patient. He's a teacher. I have 1,000,000 notes on 1,000,000 scraps of paper in case I ever need to do anything on my own. I forget how sometimes, and you don't always have a grandson to hand. On this occasion, my grandson isn't able to find much about the painting. He examines it all over for a signature or maker's mark, but there's none to be found. I looked already, but he didn't listen, or maybe I didn't tell him. I secretly like it when my grandson can't find a quick technology solution. At least that way I know I'm not the problem, or it wasn't as easy as some of the other things I ask about, which always leads to more eye rolls. The cheek. Give him a typewriter, and then we'll see whose eyes are rolling. It turns out the internet isn't the font of all knowledge, and I decide that I will seek out some good old-fashioned face-to-face answers, if only for the conversation and to get myself out of the house. I look at the girl under the tree. I will go there. I will. The gallery. Technology has failed me, so I'm taking the painting to my local gallery. It's only round the corner, but I love the painting, and my very good frame, so I wrap it nicely in brown paper so it doesn't get damaged on our walk. I tightened it all with a length of twine and set off for my little cottage. Margaret told me that the man in the gallery knows lots about paintings, which is hardly a surprise, and he has a real eye for knowing where things are from. It's just before lunchtime when I arrive, and the sun is glorious today, though the weather lady said it would rain later. I suppose that'll be good for the plants. The gallery's cafe is busy today too. It's mostly older ladies and gentlemen who come for the tea and the scones more than the art. I can't blame them. I ask for the paintings man. I've forgotten his name, and I'm left waiting in the foyer with the painting tucked under my arms in its many layers of brown paper. Some of the people are watching me curiously. I suspect they think I'm a painter, here to sell my works. That makes me smile. A little later, once I've taken a seat to rest my legs, a squat man comes stumbling out from one of the back rooms. He's younger than me, but has white hair and thick-rimmed glasses. He introduces himself, but I forgot the name quickly, and instead take to calling him Snotty Man, as he insists on either snorting his nose regularly or wiping it with his sleeve. Disgusting, I want to say, with a clip around the ear, but that wouldn't be polite, so I just offer a tissue instead. Unbelievably, he refuses, and then leads me to the back room. The room is dark and cool, with a few bulbs buzzing noisily overhead. It is lined with paintings. Some uncovered, some hidden beneath cloth sheaths. Poor things hidden away back here. "Let's see what you've brought me," Snotty Man says as he gestures to the desk and pulls up 2 paint-stained chairs for us to perch on. Now that I'm here, It seems rather silly to bother such a man with such a trivial thing like this, but I do as I'm told and unwrap my painting and lay it on the table. Snotty Man fiddles with his glasses and says nothing while he runs his finger along the brushstrokes and tries to identify the artist. I've tried looking, I tell him, but he persists with his investigation until he's wasted his time reaching the same conclusion as me. Why don't people listen to me? And you don't remember where you bought it? Snotty Man asks, and I tell him that I don't. He wipes his nose on his sleeve, then gestures to the frame. May I? It's a very good frame, I tell him crossly, and he smiles as if I'm joking. I wasn't joking, but he starts to take it apart anyway. That's when we find the signature, a scrawly set of lines, like a spider had walked over it with inked feet. Snotty Man adjusts his glasses and leans in. Well? I ask. Well, you've found yourself a collector's item, there's no mistake. And you're sure you don't remember where you bought it? I don't. Snotty Man tells me the painting was by Bridgman, a famous impressionist who I've never heard of. He seems rather excited by the idea, and now he is treating the painting as if it were made of bone china. I don't tell him I used it as a coffee tray once. Bridgman disappeared, the Snotty Man tells me. He was the Mozart of Impressionism, the Mozart, if you will, but he up and left without a word 50 years ago. His works are highly prized and sought after. Were you looking to sell? No, I snap with a frown. The cheek. I haven't had this painting for 50 years, so there must be some mistake. I'm sure of it, he says with a smile, and he wipes his nose again. Where is he from? I ask. That might help me find my hill and tree.